What is up, guys? It's Mitchell or Deity, and welcome to part 8 of the guide. So, with part 8, what I told you to do last time was to grind out all of the Hero's Path missions. So, if you had any problem with those, I'm going to go over a couple quick things you can do. So, going through the Hero's Path missions, it takes a while, okay? I am aware of that. That's why it took me 3 days of kind of casually playing to get through it all. But you have your Reforge equipment, which you just reforge the free gear the game gives you from your adventures or Archie's special adventure. And then doing your labyrinth, that's easy. Extract equipment 100 times. You just have to craft and extract, and as you're farming the hunts, extract all the T70 and blue T85s. And if the piece doesn't look good, if you know what you're doing, kind of any of the purples and reds that don't look good enough, you're going to extract those. But for the crafting portions, if there's ever a point where you need to craft more, the game gave you boxes that have materials. Okay, so here are some boxes with some materials you can claim. Say you need to claim or craft some golem gear, you can claim this stuff. It's just a couple extra things you can do. I wouldn't grab all of these, just grab exactly what you need. The best advice I can give is don't spend something unless you know what you're spending it on. But once you get through all that, there's another thing you can do with your arena. One thing with arena is every week, no matter what, take the sky stones. Sky stones always more value. So always take the sky stones at the end of each week. But you can do your NPC challenges for wins if you want to speed up the progress of that. You can buy your flags, and then if you want to buy extra flags to do these fights because you have to win the fights, you can spend your sky stones, and you could just do these NPC battles. These NPC battles will count toward that. So that's just a way you could get it done quicker if any of you guys are still on your Hero's Path missions. But if you're not done with the Hero's Path missions, you need to finish that up before we start the next part, because we're going to be grabbing Brieg right now. So this is a game-changing character for your account. All right, we're going to receive all of our rewards here. We get all this stuff, and then we're going to grab our Brieg. So Brieg plus Tamarin, we are in a fantastic spot now. All of our teams are going to start coming together, and our account's going to start, it's going to start feeling good very soon. So now that we have Brieg, we're going to go ahead, immediately boost him up. Okay, so we're going to go ahead, level him up as high. Oh, we might have to make some penguins, but we're going to level him up to 60, fully ascend him, combine spirit blooms to make him. Make sure if you're going to combine your spirit blooms, you're on a hunt challenge that's going to give you value for that, which I'll show that in a second. So once we get Brieg up, we're going to level him up a little bit more. We do have to go get some more penguins. That's fine. We have plenty of stigma from farm and recorded history, and we want to fully awaken him. Okay, he is for sure being fully awakened. One of the challenges you guys might have got stuck on, this is one thing I should talk about real quick, is going to be the one where you had to ascend 8 characters to level 8. I want to show what all characters I have ascended, or ascended to 6-star. We have Sermia. We're going to be using her in multiple parts of the game. We have Adventurer Raz, 6-star, and fully awaken him. Next up, we have a Mercedes. We're going to be using her in our Grass Expedition. And I think one other place. Should be one other place, but she's just a solid character to have. AoE, she gets attack buff, she gets an extra life, so she has a second form once you beat Chapter 3. Solid character to boost up, and she's a 4-star. Tamarin, you're going to have 6-star Awakened. Obviously, she's going to be one of your main PvE characters. She's going to be in like every team that you use except for hunts. Next up, we have our Cigarette. That is one thing we did right away. Our Angelica doesn't count, so any of you are like, I have 8. Angelica doesn't count because she's in Grace of Growth. Okay, we're actually going to be removing her from Grace of Growth now. But we have our Destina. I went ahead and 6-star fully awakened Destina because she's going to be just a cool reviving character for us for different content. Mostly Guild War early on, but she's great for Arena. And it's just good to have her. Having a Reviver, not having a Reviver versus having a Reviver is a big difference on your account. And we have our Free Spirit Tieria. Obviously, get her boosted up right away. And then our Spectre Tiber. So there are 8 6-star awakened characters, 9 if you include that. A couple other characters, if you guys did other characters, that's fine. But a couple of the other characters that you could have boosted up would have been, I mean, I wouldn't do Vivian personally. There is the character Commander Lorena. So if you finish up Commander Lorena, that's one character we're going to be working on a bit today, getting her 6-star and 6-star awakened. And other than that, though, Commander Lorena is the main one. But if you did some other ones, it's fine. You might find a use for him. Maybe you did some research and maybe you pulled an ML5 or a 5-star that you heard was good, and you went ahead and boosted him, or ML 4-star, whatever it is. It'll be fine. It's so easy to make 6-stars in this game. Do not stress about it. Okay, so now we're going back to our Brieg, though, but those are the 8 characters, or 8 or 9 characters that you could do for that mission, or just do whatever you've heard that's good. I'm getting ready to do some tier lists for the 2025 year starting, so I'm going to do some a PvE and a PvP tier list, just like I did last year, just to tell you guys what I think is good, which the thing with tier lists is always be aware that everybody's opinion is going to be different. I may say that there's a character that I don't think is very good that someone thinks is amazing, and there's going to be characters that I think are ungodly strong that people are like, I beat this, no problem. So I'm going to try to take it from a general player standpoint. The difference between me is I have my existing account, which is like a top 1000 level account that I play on and play PvP on, and then I also play a bunch of new accounts. So I see the perspective from both ends, which is what kind of separates me from most of the other creators. Seeing the game from both ends is it's very different. A new player getting into PvP or just trying to get through regular PvE content, getting advice from an in-game player who beat that stuff 4 years ago, it doesn't correlate very well. I'll be completely honest. I've seen advice given and then I've gone and done. I was like, that's not the best advice I've heard. But as long as you're getting some kind of advice and following something, you're going to be fine. I'm not saying that my ideas are the best by any means. So I need to make a few penguins. So we have 200,000 Sigma. Again, this is going to be your way to get gold as well. So there is no bar for this yet. Maybe when you're watching this, if you're watching this further down the 2025 year and I don't know, April, May, maybe we'll have a slider. But for right now, you have to just click on the 10x. This is how you get gold though, is you would sell these penguins. So if you're not upgrading a character with the penguins, then you would go in and sell them from your inventory, which has shown that. I'm going to be making a specific individual video for that. There are going to be a bunch of individual videos for different types of just different things. So I've already done like the Moonlight Blessing one. I'm going to do the tier list, and I'm going to do how to make 6 stars quickly, how to level up your account quickly. That's going to be the same video. And some videos like that, maybe a more in-depth Wyvern 13 video that tells you exactly what you need for building your permanent Wyvern team, which we're going to kind of do today. But if you have any other videos that would help you, a pet guide video, that is one thing I want to make soon. Having a pet guide video, and I want to put it like in between the tier or the guide videos in the playlist. So pet video, but any other ideas you guys have, there's something that you don't really understand with the game that you think could make a good individual video that would help others, let me know. Okay, so now let's go ahead up and finish up our Brieg here. So with Brieg, we're going to go ahead and level up. As you saw, I was using boxes for the different materials. Those boxes you're going to be getting for doing your Archies path. Okay, you get a ton of boxes to upgrade a billion different characters from that. It is the greatest thing they added to the game. They added it last year, like midway through the year. I actually made a guide series, and then they released that right after I made it, which it completely changes the game because you get multiple gear sets and a bunch of resources. All right, so now Brieg's skill enhancements. You just need to do a skill 3. The 1 turn cooldown on skill 3. The extra damage, if you want to do this eventually, that's fine. But for bare minimum, this is all you need to do. Okay, once you do this, you're good to go. Your Brieg is solid. Okay, we're trying to use as few resources as possible early on. The less we use, the better. The best artifact for him would be Aureus. If you do not have Aureus, you use Steadfast Gatekeeper. There's a couple other 4-star. Adamant Shield is okay, but any artifact that you have, just read it if it provides any kind of mitigation or gives extra stats. So this gives defense to all your allies, and it provides 14% damage suffered gets redirected to him. So it just provides mitigation, meaning that it's going to lower the overall damage that your team's going to take. That is the whole idea of Brieg. Okay, so now that we have him, we are going to go and put our Angelica's gear on him. It depends on how far along you have upgraded her gear. So as you see, I did get a little bit of charms. I was able to 12 and 13 this, and then we're going to put him on HP boots. Okay, the HP boots are pretty important for new players. If you try to go without HP boots, it might work and he will perform better, but he is going to be our Wyvern front tank on top of everything else. He does give himself combat readiness push on this, and if you're a returning player by chance, you happen to be watching this, you can use the free counter gear on him. Him countering is very good, but you want to make sure that he has at least 25,000 HP, because we're going to be using him in expeditions. So that's the goal, is get at least 25k HP on your Brieg. And now we have Brieg. So now that we have Brieg, our whole account is going to be great. Okay, so first up, we're going to go in and we're going to have our farming team. Okay, and then we're going to go to our next one, and we're going to have our adventure team. That's just for clearing through adventure. And next up, we're going to make our Wyvern team. We have a bunch of teams we're going to be doing over the next few videos. And then this other team, I don't know. We're going to put it as for now. Okay, so our farming team. Free spirits area in the front, and whatever 3 characters we want to be leveling friendship in the back. Okay, it doesn't matter what characters they are. You just turn your skills off and you will farm unrecorded history stage 30. Next up, we have our adventure team. So our adventure team. Now that we have Brieg, some of you may have already started progressing through adventure, but I did it in this order just to make it to where you can 3-star everything. as you're going through. So we're going to go ahead and put this on. We have to go get Destina a set of gear. Okay, that's one of the things we have to do. We'll probably move Raz's gear over to her, but this is going to be our adventure clearing team. It's very slow, but you 3-star every stage because you have a fire, water, and a grass character. Okay, and our Inspector Tenebria, we have a Reviver. Now we have double heal, double cleanse, defense break on our Brieg. Brieg has a defense break on his skill 3. He provides barriers. This team is super safe and will 3-star every part of story that you need to pretty much. There's a couple stages that you might run into a little bit of an issue, but this team right here is go through chapter 3 and 4 with it, and you should be good to go. Okay, so I need to look at where our free HP gear is. We can, there's 1 set, 2 set. We do not have a 3rd set. Where's our 3rd set? We need to get our 3rd set. Did I ever go and get this? All right, but what I was talking about earlier with your hunt challenges, always make sure you are switching this out if you're going to be upgrading a character. So as you see, we fully awaken. So now we finish this up. We have our enhancements. So as you're enhancing gear, make sure you want these artifact charms. You want the Molagor from this. We need to get this set right here. So once you guys should have opened up your Banshee challenge from last video for going through the missions and gotten Vivian, the free character from that. And then from here, we need to go buy 2 epic catalysts, and this is going to give us another free gear set. So we're going to go buy 2 epic catalysts. I actually do not know exactly which one I need. I'm pretty sure I need Nightmare Mask for one of my characters. So, and I know I need 2 more Fused Nerves, I think, for Spectre Teebers. So I'm just going to buy 2 Fused Nerves. Do a little research because you guys, all accounts are going to be a little bit different at this point as to what all you've progressed. So once I buy those 2 catalysts, we can go into our, also make sure you keep up your special event. The event, or if this is available when you guys are playing, most likely is. The rewards are really good for each one of these that you can do. I'll trade those in later, but we want to go to regular events and we want to go down to our Hunt Expert Challenge. Okay, Hunt Expert Challenge. Now we can go into our adventure and we get another free HP set. That is going to be our gear for either our Destina or our Raz. So what I'm going to do actually, since I don't see us using Raz for upcoming seeing us using Raz at all, we're going to go ahead and put Raz's gear on our Destina. It's just going to make our life easier in terms of upgrading. So let's go ahead and just grab Raz gear, throw it on her, and then our team is good to go for pushing chapter 3 story with having very little issues. That's the whole goal. I want you guys to be able to go through it. Just know it is super slow, but at least you're 3-starring every stage and you don't have to worry about it. You just hit auto, just let it go. It takes like an hour per group, I would say. It's a very long time, but that is geared, and now we have the free gear set that we just got, and we can go ahead and throw that on our Raz. So our characters are starting to get pretty geared up now at this point. I do have a lot of stamina I do need to burn. As you guys know, depending on how fast you played, you're going to be at a completely different spot than me. We could do Wondrous Potion Vials or Magaharas. Either one of these is pretty solid for our Destina. Having an extra debuff cleanse sounds nice. For going through story, this would allow us to have 2 different cleanses. Anytime I put an artifact on one of my adventure characters, I usually only +6 it. And then from there, because artifact charms are very hard to get. So there's our Destina, and now let's go ahead and put our gear on Raz. We will slowly upgrade this gear that is on our Raz. Let's just go throw all the new stuff on him. And we're good to go. So now we have another geared up character, and we have pretty much the core everything that we need done. For this point in the game. Now, we can start working on expedition teams. So we need to work on our Commander Lorena. If you haven't done Sirmia, do Sirmia. If you haven't done Mercedes, do Mercedes. These are 2 characters that I want you guys to have leveled up before the next portion of the guide. Get them 6-star Awaken and 6-star. Don't worry about their skill ups yet. Just get them to that point because we will need them for our expedition teams. And we're actually going to use Sirmia and multiple hunt teams. We're going to use her in Golem, and we're going to use her in our Katie's 13 team. You might not farm Katie's 13 too much, but it's good to have her. So from here, go ahead and get all of that done. And I don't remember what I was coming in here for. Oh, Commander Lorena. Commander Lorena, you can start working on her a little bit. Go ahead and you want to get her to 6-star. So we'll go ahead and promote her, and we'll level her up and get her to 5-star for now. And then I'll have to do a little bit of work to get her to 6-star. So go ahead and promote her. And then level her up again. And we need to awaken her. I won't do all of this now on here, but we will awaken her all the way up. And we need to finish her specialty change. So let's go check on her specialty change. And if we go into our recruit and specialty change, we We are done with her special change. Okay, I was going to say, I think I'm done with it. Okay, so once you get done with this, you will want to 6-star her and get her boosted. So Sirmia, Mercedes, and Commander Lorena are the 3 core characters to work on next. Okay, once you guys have those characters, at least 6-star and 6-star awaken, I'll show you guys the gear that we're going to put on them once we get to that part. But for right now, once you have your core team ready, I want you to start pushing through adventure. Okay, if you haven't gone back and done all of this is a lot of Skystones, and you get your Blessing Orbis, it's more Mologoras. It's a lot of resources in here. As you see, I'm getting close to finish with mine. If the circle is not fully circled in green with a check mark, then you do not have all of it done. So I still need to do 9 and 10, 7S, 6S, 2S, and 1S. That's like 1,000 or 1,500 Skystones, 2,000 Skystones. It's a lot of Skystones in there. So you can go out and work on this. But otherwise, you can go ahead and go to Eureka and start clearing through this with this adventure team. Okay, now this adventure team is going to be slow, like I said, but also you have your labyrinth you can go farm. So your labyrinth entries, your labyrinth team, you can just switch out your Destina for Tieria. So this would be, let's just say this is our lab team. Okay, so our lab team, all right, let's set up our Wyvern team and then set up our lab team. So here's our Wyvern team. We're gonna go ahead, throw Cigarette on, throw our Mui on. Hopefully you guys have gotten a Mui by this point. If you made it this far, I'm gonna assume you probably have. He is almost irreplaceable in terms of making an easy Wyvern team. But there is our Wyvern, our Wyvern team. So we're gonna go ahead. I don't know if I had a hunt one. All right, we'll just throw that on. I haven't worked on pets yet. That is one thing that I would like to touch on a little bit today, because you want to boost up your AP pet for adventure for when you're farming. You also want to boost up a hunt pet second. But then our labyrinth team, we don't need to rename it. Your labyrinth team is basically going to be the exact same thing. You're going to have your Brieg in the front as your tank. Then you're going to have your Tamarin. Tamarin is just better for PvE than Destina, because you're not going to be dying. You don't care about the revive. Tamarin just provides dual attack, and she provides attack buff and CR push, which is really, really good, versus Destina provides a revive. So that's the difference between the two. The revive is better for PvP, or for very certain abyss floors, having a revive is really nice. But this is going to be your labyrinth team. Okay, these 4 teams are all you need. If you want to add more teams, you can do that from the other menu. But you start going through this with the team I gave you. And as you see, with all of these, you have to have 1 fire hero. The next group, you'll have to have 1 grass hero. The next group, you have to have 1 water hero or ice hero. With having this team here, you're going to 3-star all of the basic stages going through, which keeps you from having to go back and do the stage again in the future, which that just is super, super nice. Okay, so now that all of that is done, you guys have your Brieg finished. You have the characters to work on. You want to continue farming, and if you need to upgrade gear, you're going to obviously continue farming. We're going to have a bunch of those free attack sets. We're going to end up utilizing them on our Sirmia and other characters. You're going to have some of this free other gear from your arena. Those of you guys that start later, you might not have the resist set, but this resist set we will be using on different characters. But your teams will start all coming together with this free gear. Just hold on to all the free gear, and then in the next portion, once I get a little bit further, I'll show you all my characters. If you are hesitant on anything, just save up your charms, save everything, and I will have a showcase where you can see all of the characters that I have built. So from this point, it's just about progressing a little bit further. I'm going to go in and throw the free gear on all these characters. We are going to do a crafting portion soon, but you almost have a Wyvern 13 team. I just don't suggest farming Wyvern 13 until you get through a little bit more story. That's the #1 goal. But if you do want to farm Wyvern 13, your team probably is strong enough to do it by now. So here's my Wyvern characters. We would like to boost up the ring and necklace. That's going to be really important. And then our Mui, we are looking at 58 effectiveness. That's basically fine. We would like to boost up his helmet and his chest so he does not get one shot by the first mobs. But boosting up this would be good. I'm not going to boost up this probably any more, maybe 1 more. Just you want 65 effectiveness. And our Furious is fine. His gear will just work on +6. The only thing is he needs to be faster, and he needs to have 65 effectiveness. So we basically have a Wyvern 13 team now that we have Brieg. If you guys upgrade your gear a little bit compared to what I have, this is the free gear that you get from doing your side story for Tamarin. So these 4 pieces here, and you're good to go. But one thing is also, you are doing your Archie special operations. with doing the Archy Special Operations, you're going to be getting this free rage set. This rage set is going to end up going on 4 of the pieces. I would not use the neck or the ring yet because you won't have the charms to upgrade it. But this will end up going on your cigarette. Okay, once you get the sword, the helmet, the chest, and the boots, you will put them on your cigarette, and you will take the cigarette gear and put it on another character. Okay, that is going to be one of the goals we're working toward before we have our fully finished Wyvern 13 team, but we basically have it. If we ran Wyvern with this team, we'll beat it at least 70 to 80% of the time now. So that is everything I have. Make sure if you are going to run Wyvern, you want your characters to be on Daydream Joker. If you have Song of Stars for your Furious, have it on him. But other than that, though, that's the main things to work on. Start going through adventure. While you're going through adventure, if you need something else to work on, you can, as you're going through, you can finish these missions. So this is just clear Wyvern 11 or higher 30 times. I would do Wyvern 13 now for any of these missions, but you can start finishing up all this. You'll get some extra rewards as you go. It's nothing insanely great, but it's free stuff for doing stuff you probably need to work on anyway. I don't ever heavily push people to do this. I haven't even done it on my main account because it came out late. But these extra rewards for these other types of hunts aren't great. So as a new player, though, it'd kind of be nice to have all the different stuff so you can kind of craft some of the other gear sets potentially. But with crafting, if you guys just hold on to your crafting materials, I have a crafting style video that you can watch that you save up 10,000 materials, you craft a certain way, and then you just follow the video to like step by step. And then if you're still stuck, then you save another 10K, you follow it again, and eventually it seems like it's been working. It's the best thing I've been able to come up with over the years of making guides on E7. So hopefully that video will help you. But other than that, that's all I have for this video for right now. The only other thing is if you want to do some pet summons, you can go ahead and rip your pet summons. We got a Moonlight pet, that's cool. This account's kind of Moonlight lucky. Moonlight pets are just cosmetic. All pet stuff is cosmetic. So I always... just from this point, you want to be pretty picky. I would only save A and S rank of any type of pet. I would not try to do any B rank pets. It's not really worth it, the amount of resources you put into it. Just keep waiting, and if you don't have the pet you want, just use the other pets. It'll be fine. Make sure at least you do your free summon per day. But you can also, again, buy your pet tickets. So I highly suggest spending the 5 million to buy your pet tickets every single week that is available. And then also buying the food is really good because that boosts up the percentage. So if you remember to do this, that is great. Pets are very, very nice to have. But as you adopt, we didn't get any B or A rank. We didn't get any or S or A rank. And once you're full, you just go to release, auto select, get rid of anything that isn't B because you need a ton of these crystals. So most of the pets that you get, it's not a bad thing to end up not getting. I didn't get any S rank pets. Okay, so it's unlucky on pet skills, but it's lucky on characters. But this is just how I do pets. And then I will be making a pet guide. No S rank pet through all 50. Wow. Okay, well, hopefully you guys have better luck than that. But save all your S rank pets, and then once that video comes, if you kind of understood from messing with pets before, you can go ahead and try to do whatever yourself, but that video will be out soon. I have like 9 videos I'm getting ready to sit down and make. They're going to be scheduled out like 2 a day for the next little bit. I do have one other video I'm going to make tonight, but that's it for this video, okay? All I want you to do is just progress. The next video I have is going to just go over where the account is, what it looks like, and you guys can try to copy or get as close as you can as what I have. But just real quick overview. Boost up your Sermian to 6-star, boost up your Mercedes to 6-star, and Fully Awaken. Boost up your Lorena to 6-star Fully Awaken. All these other characters that I'm currently using, they are characters that will be used in multiple content, okay? You will use multiple of these characters in multiple different things, and they are the cheapest. From what I found from making the guides over the years, this is like the cheapest batch of core characters. And if you do have other characters, you are able to kind of experiment and branch out. But when the character doesn't work, and if you don't do your research properly, you're gonna end up boosting up a character that you don't use for anything. It feels kind of bad, but that's part of playing the game, and it can be fun. So if you do pull some ML5s or things like that, generally ML5s aren't great for PvE. Some of them are okay in certain spots. This one's really good in PvE actually, but most of the time they're not good in PvE. So while you're working on your PvE teams, I highly suggest sticking with what I have, but if you want to experiment, go ahead. That's all I have for this video, though. Boost up those characters, start pushing through your adventure chapter 3. I will be back as I get further into chapter 3, and then anytime you need something to do, always be farming unrecorded history. you need the charms. Do your labyrinth entries. You need the charms. Desperately need the charms to upgrade all of our core roster. So again, the point of this guide to get your core PvE and everything stabilized and set up, and then we start working on PvP. So do not think you need to start going to PvP. If you try now, it's not going to be good. This meta, at the time I'm making this right now at least, is very hard. It's, I think, the hardest new player experience getting into PvP is the current beginning of 2025. It's gone through cycles. It'll probably be easier to get into in the future when you start, if you start this guide later, because it kind of depends on what character you can get from like upcoming or whatever banners are out and what's in meta, obviously. But it's a very hard, at least RTA season. Arena's not so bad, but RTA is very hard right now. Okay, well, I'm going to go ahead and wrap up this video here. Go get to work on the stuff that I showed you, and I will see you all. The next video probably will be a lot faster because it's going to be covering a smaller topic instead of progression. It'll be like beating a certain stage. So hopefully the next video will be up within the next day or two, and I will see you all in the next part of the guide. Peace out.